if you can recall what happened, or if any of you do actually remember.
I do remember.
Yeah.
That drink.
The blue feathers.
Oh, that's saving throw.
That's an intelligence saving throw, not an unskilled intelligence check.
I personally remember, but Renato's blitzed,
There we
so
go.
there's no chance.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Just seeing the
Nice.
blue feathers, Vembry just stepped
Yeah.
in front of Blaze protectively, just in case.
Okay, so you recognise the blue feathers at least, because they look exactly like the one that bard was always wearing. And Renato, you remember reading in the journal that the doppelganger took one of the blue feathers from what they described as the idiot drow.
Ah, yes. Well, not particularly gotten with tact. You would call out, "Oh, you're the idiot drow mentioned in the journal."
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you see, and he just sort of points a thumb over to the journal that he's handed over to the Protector. There was someone that wrote about you, actually. Something about your feathers or something. I don't quite remember, but I suspect it has something to do with this body on the ground.
The figure in the white armour, whose face you can't see because of their visor, holds out a hand for the journal.
He'll just very carefully flip through the pages to find the relevant passage and then hand it over.
They take a look at it and read it, and they look over at the doppelganger body, and they look back at you, and they say, "This was the bard. It was a doppelganger the whole time."
Yeah, we were shocked
Didn't I
too.
guess that?
Oh, is that what it
Did
is?
you spend a night with it?
No, I spent a night tracking and fighting it. Not so much in bed, though.
Eli
Probably
kind
for
of
the
just shuffles her feet, looks at the floor.
The Daggelt looks over and goes, "Oh, you two met before."
Renato just pauses for a moment and says, "You know, I can't quite place it. Has someone else?"
Yes, we've spoken before.
Oh, well, this is one of my most trusted friends, an adventurer who wanders the land righting wrongs, and we all like that kind of thing, don't we? They like to go by the name, the drow sort of holds up a hand, or at least you assume they're a drow, from the description in the journal, but you really can't see any of their body. They're completely covered by this white armour and this cloak made of red feathers and this big, like, visored helm. Like, their armour, it appears to be leather armour, but it's coated in some kind of a pearlescent material that shines like white pearls, and it's embossed with gold. And they hold up their gloved hand and they say, "I know you find my name embarrassing, but I still like it, okay?"
Uh-oh.
Daggelt Neverwinter goes, "Okay, this is Ivory Star Crusade." Ivory Star Crusade. It's nice to meet you.
Oh.
That is fantastic.
Let me just
you have to
roll
say.
Renato.
a quick check here.
He repeats the name and looks very jolly about it.
What are you rolling?
Yes.
You roll a critical success on stifling laughter,
Honestly.
showing amazing and uncharacteristic tact.
Let's do it.
Henry doesn't burst out laughing. Renato, meanwhile, showing uncharacteristic lack of tact, just starts sniggering.
In the spirit of good cheer that he's just been promoting with everyone, he offers his water skin out to Ivory Star Crusade.
You can't even say it. Like,
I can't.
are you seriously grappling them?
I'm suspicious. Can I grapple this person by the front of their cape?
No, you can't. Ivory Star
Dang it.
Crusade flips out the way.
This guy,
with amazing speed and grace.
he seems like he's got one of those
What are you trying to do?
fake names, the pseudo things.
Pseudonym?
Well,
Obviously,
That's the
this
one.
obviously, this isn't my real name.
I told you guys, he's a faker.
nice. Just calm down, dear, please.
But the blue feathers.
The drow,
We've met him
they
before.
open their helmet to reveal that they are in fact a drow. It's that drow who's always sweeping the floors in here.
Case.
Oh.
And they sort of lift their visor and they go, listen, my real name is Listal Nasser. I'm a drow, so I prefer not to go by my usual name because, well, drow don't have the best reputation.
I can understand that.
I'd
But
especially...
you should be proud of your heritage. I mean, I'm proud of my dwarf heritage.
Renato pauses for a
Nothing to be
second.
ashamed of.
He pauses for a
Dwarves
second.
don't worship spider demons and kidnap people and drag them underground for terrible bloodletting ceremonies.
Because he hasn't been very good at
Sometimes
holding his
nice,
tact.
it's easier said than done.
Oh. He says, should he be drowned of his heritage?
Oh.
So Irish Star Crusade's immediately like, oh well, it was nice seeing you today, Dugald. And starts wandering out immediately. And then stops at Blaze. They're like, hey, I know you. You're one of... You were with that bard. And Blaze goes, yes, I was taken in by the lies and promises of the doppelganger, and I'm here to face justice, the judgment of Tyr, for my actions. I still don't think that Neverember really has a right to be ruling this city, but I can't deny that I nearly unleashed something horrible on this world. So Ivory Star Crusade is sort of standing looking at Blaze and sort of gives a nod and sort of says, well, I have to respect your courage. So meanwhile, Perpetua has finished speaking with Justice Orwin and roll a perception check, actually, any of you who might have been like watching Perpetua at all. Roll on.
That's not me.
Okay. Venbury was keeping an eye out.
One was more impressed by Ivory Star
Dang.
Cruiser because I think I've seen that drow before.
Renato was stunningly imperceptive for his usual suspicions.
Oh wow. It looks like something changed hands between Perpetua and Justice Orwen, but you didn't really see much of it because you were paying more attention to this amazingly attired drow, and trying not to laugh at their name. So every Star Crusade's going to go and hang out here. So Daggle Neverember says, well, you've all done jolly good work here today, and I'd like to reward you. We're going to redouble our efforts to make sure that your new quarters are built. We need to build you a house fit for... I should perhaps give you some titles. Perpetua, can we give them titles? Perpetua's sort of, I'm not sure we can actually do that, my lord. Maybe we should think about it, but we can give them a substantial reward, and yes, we can certainly build them a place to live worthy of their status as heroes of Neverwinter.
Renato will consider that for a bit and say, "Oh, a title isn't all good fun. You could at least give us one off the record."
Dugholt looks at you and goes, "Yes, that's a good idea. What sort of title do you think would be good? Obviously, I can't call you lords or, well, I think some people would get jolly angry at that."
Renato considers his own nobility and says, "Well, we're not really particularly such high investors in the city, but how about Taines?"
Yes, why not? You can call yourself that if you want.
Taines of the city. Perfect.
And at this point, Vembry speaks up and says, about the whole keep or, base of operations for our elite fighting force, I think there's a perfectly good piece of real estate that's already open. We could build upon that.
Really?
Out in the Phoenix district, with some giant spiders and a portal to a copper dragon in its basement.
Oh, jolly good. That's a good one, yes.
Oh, that place you raided, the one with the portal to that dragon girl with the laugh.
Exactly.
And,
Knocked
Yes.
the old place down, built
What was her
something
name
new.
again?
Lamsey.
Landy.
Perpetua sort of looks
Making the joke.
crestfallen. Oh, so you're going to be associating with Ramsey then?
Renato will say, I mean, it was in good interests for Vivienne especially that she be a sort of business partner, but we could have you along too if you're so disappointed about that.
I'm afraid I will be far too busy with my duties attending to Lord Neverember to possibly be part of this business operation.
A shame.
Yes, a terrible shame. Terrible shame. Terrible.
Ah, you refuse to admit it.
Tycho sort of watches her backing up, and he goes, well, I think it sounds jolly good hanging out with a gorgeous dragon girl who casts magic and building dungeons and whatnot.
Yes, I think it'll bring quite a lot into the city. Perhaps an attraction?
Yes, I
Are you
think
trying
so.
to make Glamsy World?
Renato is perhaps not thinking this entirely through, but, whatever the case, it's happy and he just offers the water skin to Dagult as he has been with everyone else.
Dagult takes a sniff of it, and he sort of looks at it and goes, no offense, my boy, but I have to be a little more careful than that. Can't go drinking on the job.
Gore. Well, that's fine. I understand
He's
entirely.
not usually like this.
So Blaze steps forward and says that he is willing to take whatever justice the priests of Tyr feel fit to give him for what he's done. He explains that he met the Blue Feather Bard a few months ago, and they helped build his small protest into something much larger and more organized. And he was so excited about the progress they were making, he didn't really pay enough attention to how shady the people they associated with were becoming. Like, cultists, these berserkers, they were, like, dealing in all sorts of things like that. And the fact that he was manipulated into almost raising, he thought they were going to raise the body of Lord Nasher back from the dead, but the discovery that it would have been this terrible evil wizard, he could have been responsible for that, is just terrible to him, and he says that he needs to face some kind of justice for what he's done. Daggle looks at all of you and goes, well, what do you lot think should be done with this young man?
I'll
Well, he
let the
did
others go
insult my
first.
horns earlier.
Daggle looks at Blaze judgmentally and Blaze looks a bit kind of like annoyed, and he's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not used to being around tieflings, and
Now, is that a good enough apology? Do you think it's a good enough apology?
I think he should be on
no,
his knees.
alright. I'm really sorry, Miss Milady. I'll try to be better in the future.
That's better. I suppose you'll do.
Renato has an idea on his mind, so he just sort of sidesteps over here and puts an arm around this man whose name he never really caught, and says, "I have a proposition for you."
Yes.
In all his wheeling and dealing, if you feel so indebted to the city, why don't you help us?
Help you?
Yes, well, we have quarters that we need kept, and presumably we'll be gathering mines and people to it, and we'll also be staying in it ourselves, so I think lodging and in exchange for upkeep sounds like a fair deal, don't you?
Venbury speaks up and just says, I don't think he wants to be our housekeeper, Renato, and I think you should put a stopper in that wineskin. Just tries to drag him away.
Renato will be
Okay.
dragged away.
Okay, Venbury comes and drags Renato out of the way. Daggle says, no, community service could be a good idea, though it seems a bit of a waste to use such a talented young swordsman as a housekeeper.
I was trying to intimidate the guy into agreeing with Renato, but I think I probably failed.
Yeah, meanwhile Nice is kind of looming at him menacingly, but isn't really noticed because he was not looking the correct direction. He was looking at Ilya and sort of bowing his head at the time, so he didn't really notice. And then he was looking at Renato while Renato was speaking, so yeah, he didn't see you, Nice.
Amazing.
Okay. So, community service then. I suppose he could be a good member of the Neverwinter Watch. What do you think?
Sounds fitting.
I'm sure Sergeant Moonriver would be happy to have somebody like this.
I'd be happy to have Sergeant Moonriver.
Oh.
Everyone present in the temple sort of nods with a dreamy look.
Renato gives the most enthusiastic thumbs up.
So, with the meeting concluded, he bids you to return to the inn and tells you that they will try to get you some habitable lodgings as soon as you can. Now, you notice that Ivory Star Crusade is still waiting out in the vestibule of the temple. And as you are passing to leave, they stop you and sort of nod to get your attention.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Renato's in no condition for speaking. He's being held by Venbury, I assume so.
Wynn's feeling a bit better, so he'll speak
Probably
up for the group.
Just bring the others forwards with you. Leave Blaze back there, bring all the pets. So many pets. Okay, so Ivory Star Crusade